Hey guys, Lost here. Now instead of doing a top 5 countdown like I usually do, I'm just going to review one mod in particular for Attila Total War. I hope you guys enjoy. So without further ado, this is a faction mod that adds in the Divine Roman Empire to Attila Total War. It converts the Eastern Roman Empire and replaces it with this faction, which you can play in the campaign. This mod kind of takes Attila and thrusts it a few hundred years into the medieval era, or at least just for this faction, which is made up of units from the 1212 AD Medieval Kingdoms mod, kind of textures and skins like that. Overall, it just looks absolutely cool, super amazing, and it is an awesome mod to play. This mod adds in 67 new units, new banners, new generals, offices, and it even changes up some of the campaign so that, it kind of fits this faction or the era that this faction fits into. This mod only works with the vanilla campaign, so unfortunately you cannot play it with the Charlemagne campaign or any other DLCs for that matter. So with that, we're going to jump into a little game that I've played to kind of show off, what this faction has to offer, some of the units and how they fight, how the game looks. Because you never really know unless you see these guys in action, so. This was a custom siege battle I fought against the Western Roman Empire, kind of to size them up, kind of to compare them against a fairly dominant faction in the game. And they hold up fairly well, but it, was kind of a struggle, seeing as this was the first time I really, played the mod. So right here you see some medium spear sergeants versus some Roman axe infantry mixed with skirmishers, things like that, as well as my monastic guard, which are heavy spear infantry soldiers, while I am trying to defend this small village, an unfortified town, against the Roman Empire. So right there you saw I tried to send those guys around to flank that little group, that little skirmish that was going on and fighting, as the Western Roman Empire kind of tries to just throw it all right through the center of my town, and I'm not doing the best job holding them off. So right here you see heralds, which are medium melee infantry. They look pretty cool. They fight, decently, I suppose, but against a heavy infantry, it's kind of tough. They don't hold up fairly well. Now over here in the center of my town, I'm doing my best to hold them off as they're trying to break through with my spear infantry, some of my other guys. Throughout the faction, I did try to get an assortment of units for this battle to really show off everything. Those are some spear knights, heavy spear infantry. So zooming up to the last rung of defenses, I have my archer knights, which are kind of look like, the medieval Templar or Crusade knights, just with bows, and they do pretty well. They're more of a heavy knight, so they do get to, they can fight as well as shoot their bows and arrows. I'm doing my best to be able to provide cover for if they do start to break through, and they will eventually break through. I do have guys all lined up the slopes to try and stop them, layering up my defenses as to kind of break them down when they try to charge up there. So this is still about halfway through the battle. At this point, it really could have gone either way. I was doing my best to line up my defenses and be able to provide cover with my archers against this gigantic force of Western Roman Empire soldiers. Right here, you see some more spear infantry. I believe they are spear knights versus, medium and heavy Western Roman Empire soldiers, and they rout right away, since I am taking very heavy casualties at this point. Here you see a more heavy end of the spectrum with more super heavy infantry. The Lord Commander, which is actually the general's unit. I did not realize he was in the middle of a fight at that time. Without any walls, it is quite difficult to defend against a town like this, especially when they're kind of coming in at all sides. So going into the battle, a few more minutes, you will start to see that I'm losing some more, which I did pick this battle because I do get to use almost all of my units, so I do get to, show them all off. It's not like I just won and then used, 3 units or anything. At this point, they've broken through my first line of defenses and have started engaging some of my soldiers running up the hill. Here I have some spikes, some stakes, and I have guys in a spear wall ready to stop them at all costs. So here I am rushing some of my medium melee infantry, my sword men-at-arms, which are kind of like the basic standard type melee soldier in this faction. Compared against some of the other Western Roman Empire soldiers, they're decent, but you know, they're kind of just fodder at this point for some of the more heavy units. One thing I'd like to point out is that a lot of units in this faction do have javelins they can throw, you know, 2 or 3 or so it is a huge help, you know, when charging down the enemy, except you always gotta watch out they're not throwing them into your own backs, because that is always a problem. The AI is not always smart in this game. So here I am doing my best to set up my guys and get them in defensive positions for when they start to break through, and I'm doing my best, but they just keep coming. So right there I rushed in some of my heavy sworn knights to battle it out with some more of these heavy spear infantry from the Western Roman Empire, and they do begin to rout here in a few minutes, both I think some of my guys and some of theirs, so it's a slight victory overall on the side of this hill. But then of course they rush in some more of their heavy infantry to start engaging, and continues to push my guys back eventually further up the hill. So continuing on with the battle, a little farther we're starting to enter the death throes here. They have managed to push all the way up the hill and up to my last line of defenses. I've even started to engage some of the last of my heavy horse knights, so things are not going very well. My archers are engaging them the best they can. I know using cavalry versus extremely heavy spear soldiers is probably not the best idea, but at this point I really didn't have many soldiers left that I could use. You can see here now that they've broken to my line of heavy pikemen, and my Death's Head guard, which is very heavy melee infantry, but they are not as good as they look, trust me. They're just pretty scary looking, to be honest. But either way, neat unit. So they're at my pike sergeants, my heavy pike infantry, and they're making their way through, kind of chewing them up. My melee infantry or my pike infantry are doing the best they can. But the Western Roman Empire is just unformidable, and it continues to push through. We're going to take a little look here at the action that's going on. And it is just not happening. They're pushing through my wall of spears that is frankly just not holding up to the task of these heavy Roman soldiers. Now we're going to head up to an overview of where everybody is and just kind of see how far they've made it and how many men we've kind of lost, because we've taken a huge chunk out of both of our armies frankly, but they still managed to beat off this divine Roman Empire and its medieval units. Zooming over to the backside here, you will see that they have pushed through my last line of defenses, killing off most of my units. So here I'm engaging them from the back with my swordmen at arms against the Foederati Franchi, the medium axe infantry by the Roman Empire. I think that's how you say it. Their names are quite strange. I believe at some point I do rout these axe infantry by the Western Roman Empire, but it is not enough to hold them off long enough. They will eventually break through my front, and there's nothing I can do about it. We are reaching the end here, so we're going to get a little look at the Death's Head Guard, which is basically the last units I have left on the field at this point. They are heavy infantry. They look absolutely awesome, except they do get beaten back continuously by these heavy Roman soldiers, and I just don't understand it. I'm sure all of you experienced Total War players out there can point out about 1,000 things I did wrong in this battle to make me lose, but this was more of a showcase, if anything, rather than just me trying to win a battle. So we are getting to the end here. Eventually, all I have left are basically my archer units that I have to chase down the rest of their archer units, and they kind of just pick me off as I go because they still have ammunition, and they chew up the rest of my soldiers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This mod is on the Steam Workshop, as are the other mods that I have reviewed for Attila Total War. So let me know what you guys think. I am still new to the Total War scene on YouTube, so it's new to me here. I would love to do more videos on the Total War franchise, not just Attila, but that is yet to be determined in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Follow us on Twitch. I will see you guys later.